Los Angeles. It's the Tom Leykis Show. And now, here he is, Tom Leykis.
Thank you for tuning into the Tom Leykis Show. This is where America gets together to talk about the issues you really care about. It's a different kind of a radio talk program. We're the radio talk show that is not hosted by a right-wing wacko or a convicted felon. No, I am your host. Write down our toll-free telephone number. You're going to need it at 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. Here we are together again on the radio. And look at this story. Look at this story. This from the Knoxville News, Knoxville, Tennessee. Ann Myers, former women's basketball player, has a bone to pick about women's basketball. As one of the best athletes in the history of the sport, wasn't she married to Don Drysdale? She was. Okay. As one of the best athletes in the history of the sport, she's upset because more highlights are not shown on television. Want to see a man dunk? No problem. A few three-pointers are tossed in for good measure. There might even be a last-second shot mixed in with any number of macho activities. She says women's basketball deserves to be on television more, no question about it.
Boring.
The men's games always seem to be the lead story on SportsCenter. They might show a women's highlight when Duke upsets Connecticut, and that's great. They might show the women's scores on the ticker tape down below. If you go to ESPN News, they might mention the scores and show a little more of what happened. That's a plus. But do women get the respect they deserve? Absolutely not. I have a big argument with a lot of people about this. God, I'd love to talk to Ann Myers. I'd love to talk to her. Let's talk about how this works, darling. Number one, it's generally acknowledged by anyone who's a sports fan that men's basketball is more interesting to watch than women's basketball for most people. Are there a group of lesbians or athletic females or both? A little more of what happened, that's a plus. But do women get the respect they deserve? Absolutely not. I have a big argument with a lot of people about this. God, I'd love to talk to Ann Myers. I'd love to talk to her. Let's talk about how this works, darling. Number one, it's generally acknowledged by anyone who's a sports fan that men's basketball is more interesting to watch than women's basketball for most people. Are there a group of lesbians or athletic females or both who like to watch women's basketball? Yes, but it's a small, select group. It's tiny. There is not a big audience for this. And might I say, while we're talking about women's basketball, the very politically correct Seattle Times, I'm always amazed by this every time I come to Seattle. In the sports section, understand, the sports section is generally read by men, generally for men, in just about every city where I've ever lived. And by the time you get to page 3 in the sports section, you're not reading about the Seahawks. You're not reading about the Sonics. You're not reading about the Mariners. You're reading about women's high school and college basketball with large color photographs of large women shooting jump shots in front of empty arenas. The WNBA gets all this coverage. I mean, how politically correct can you be? There is a tiny, fractional audience for women's basketball. It's minuscule. Women can't dunk. Women aren't as physical. Women don't score as many points. WNBA uses a smaller ball. Please. The stuff that's on SportsCenter, and you cannot argue with the success of ESPN SportsCenter. It's the cornerstone of ESPN, which is one of the most successful cable TV networks ever launched, ever. In fact, they're celebrating their 25th anniversary. And you know why? It's because they're doing something right. They know what people want to see. And the stuff on SportsCenter is the stuff that people want to see. Whatever sport is in season, generally played by males. Buried deep within somewhere, there'll be some women's golf or tennis. But for the most part, men want to watch men playing sports. I don't know men who want to watch women playing sports. Not even tennis and golf, for that matter. We just don't care. And we are the audience that watches sports. That's it. Women's basketball does not deserve to be on television. Nothing deserves to be on television. Nothing. The stuff is, television is the greatest democracy ever. It's a better democracy than the United States, better democracy than ancient Rome or ancient Greece, because truly, the masses decide what is on. The masses decide what is on the air. The sports that show up on ESPN are the sports the primary target audience cares about. The primary audience of ESPN is guys. We don't want to watch a bunch of butchified ladies running up the court with a basketball and hitting bricks or dribbling for 30 seconds at a time. We just have no interest in that. This idea that somebody believes that women's basketball deserves to be on more, or if only it was on more people would go see it, is ridiculous. People have had opportunities to see it. The WNBA has been on various networks. It's been on ESPN. It's been on Lifetime. It's been on Oxygen. It's been all over the dial. I think NBC was forced to carry it for a while when they had the NBA package. It's been shoved down people's throats now for some time. We don't like it. We're not watching. It isn't making money. That's what it's all about. What deserves to be on is the stuff that's the most popular. That's it. Period. Unbelievable. Amazing. This story from the Knoxville News goes on to say, someday maybe Title IX will apply to network coverage too. Oh, please. Too many TV executives are missing the boat. They point to generally lower attendance and ratings for women's games. They claim it reflects a lack of interest across the country. Of course it does. The story goes on to say this argument doesn't cut it with Myers, who achieved stardom at UCLA as the first four-time Kodak All-American, 1975 to 1978 in history. She was also a starter on the first U.S. women's Olympic basketball team in 1976 in Montreal. Almost 30 years later, women are still trying to squeeze in sound bites on too many nightly sportscasts. Then she talks about L.A. If you come to Los Angeles, you've got UCLA, USC, Irvine, Pepperdine, and so forth. You've got the Lakers, Kings, Dodgers, Clippers, and Angels. Then you've got the weather. You're always competing about something, and that's tough to infiltrate. That's because all that stuff is more popular than women's basketball. Hockey. And by the way, I'm one of the select few who is a hockey fan. I believe that if you went to a game, you'd love it, and I believe you should go. And I took Dino last night to a game, and he sat in my seats down the fourth row, and there's nothing better than that. But I also am realistic. To paraphrase a former network TV executive, Peter Lund, who's the president of CBS Sports, but I'm going to apply to Los Angeles. I'm going to say it kind of the way he would have said it if he were here now. Los Angeles has 18,118 hockey fans. And when there's a home game, there's nobody home to watch the games on TV. Because we're all at the game. And you know what? That's more popular than women's basketball, which doesn't even have that many fans in the seats. Forget it. Think I'm being unreasonable here?
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM.
Well, break it down for me.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-866.
You have that same disease that most women have, okay? You have selective hearing.
I probably do. I like to hear what I want to hear.
I understand that.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Call 1-800-5800-TOM.
Michelle.
On the Tom Leykis Show.
Hey, how are you, Tom?
Pretty good, Michelle.
I have an observation about why nobody watches women's sports.
Okay.
I think men watch sports for 3 reasons. Adrenaline, testosterone, and to get away from the women.
To get away from women, that's right.
Women, for the most part, watch sports for 2 reasons. Either 1, to watch all the guys play, or 2, because they don't know how to leave their man alone while he's trying to get away from them.
Right. I totally agree with you, and I'll go a step further. I think that men wouldn't mind watching chicks playing sports like that lingerie bowl they're going to have this Sunday, the Super Bowl. You know about this?
Something like that. Guys would be interested.
That guys would watch chicks playing football wearing lingerie, supermodels. Now, that is something guys would watch. We had the story a couple of weeks ago about the soccer executive at the FIFA who was suggesting more men would watch women's soccer if they wore sexier uniforms. And now he's taking a lot of crap for that, but he's right.
He's absolutely right. If guys don't want to watch women pretend to be guys.
That's right.
They want to watch women be women. And if that means they got to wear skimpy little outfits and be a little sexier, guys would watch it.
That's right.
But that's not what they're trying to do. They're trying to get out there and be sweaty and trying to have biggins like the boys do.
I mean, I have no problem with somebody being a bull dyke, but you know what? Most straight men don't want to watch bull dykes playing basketball. Sorry.
I absolutely agree. And I think pretty much everybody knows it. They're just scared to admit it.
Well, I have no problem saying it, and I don't give a rat's ass. There's no Title IX on the radio, and I'm just telling the truth. If they believe me, TV puts tractor pulls and whatever else they have to put on TV to get if they think it has an audience. Are you kidding? You know the new trend right now on TV? There's at least 2 shows I know. Poker. They're showing poker on TV.
I think they've run out of
They'll show anything. If it draws even flies, they'll show it. That's how unpopular women's basketball is. If they thought there was any audience for women's basketball, it would be on every night of the week. Last night, I was watching Fox Sports Net after the late night sports report, and they had poker on. And they're showing these guys sitting around a table deciding what cards to throw away. This was a show. Now that, and by the way, can I tell you something? Poker is getting ratings. I read about this in one of the trade papers the other day. It's getting ratings. Guys are watching other guys playing poker on TV. We'd rather watch poker than to see a bunch of lesbians, 7-foot-tall Chinese chicks, running around slam dunking, or attempting to slam dunk and then throwing up a brick.
I agree. Poker is actually more interesting than that.
You're watching paint dry. I think there's a channel for that now.
There probably is, because I think they're running out of things to show.
Well, that's only watching paint dry. You can see paint dry as long as somebody made over your house while you were out.
I think I'll watch almost anything as long as they keep women's basketball off the air.
Yeah.
I'll be happy.
Women's basketball. They attempted to have a women's football league. I mean, come on.
One of the stupidest ideas.
Holy.
The girls are cute for cheerleaders, but they don't need to be on the field.
These chicks who are playing football were not cute, let me tell you.
I don't know. I didn't watch it, but I can imagine that.
What cute chick would risk her looks going out there and playing tackle football?
Not to mention the fact that most guys don't want to be with a girl who could tackle them.
Damn straight we don't.
Not unless it's all done in fun.
Not unless you bring your sister.
Foreplay, yeah. Well, keep it up. We like hearing honest opinions.
Thank you, Michelle.
All right, have a nice night.
You too. Appreciate the call. 1-800-5800-TOM. This is Funk on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom, how are you doing?
All right, Funk.
Hey, I rarely agree with you, but today I have to agree. People don't care about female sport. The only way that we would watch baseball, female basketball, if they look like Anna Kournikova.
Right, exactly. But if they look like Lindsay Davenport, I'm out.
Yes, exactly. Now, where I disagree with you is that people do not decide what they want to watch. The network decide what we want to watch.
No, it's the other way around. The network puts shows on, and then if we don't watch them, they take the shows on.
Yeah, but they always come up with a new show that people have never thought about. We don't even give a rat's.
Yes, but you know what? They've had women's basketball on. That WNBA's been on at least 3 or 4 networks. It's been on. People had a chance to watch it, and they didn't like it.
Oh, I totally agree with you. Female basketball is boring.
But they tried it. I mean, and they try everything at least once on TV. They try it.
What I want to know is why they don't try to have a female team compete with a male team and see how interesting that could be.
Because we know how the ending would turn out.
Well, what about all this feminist crap who wants, equal opportunity?
Oh, no, they don't want that. Look at that WNBA. They use a little tiny basketball.
Well, it's their chance to prove to us that female basketball can be interesting.
That's right.
Even have them compete against the crappiest basketball team made of men. And
when they have that WNBA All-Star game, they got to have the dunking competition, the slam dunk competition. Let's see how many women can do a slam dunk.
I'm not for that. I want to see, best.
What's that?
I want to see their best against our best.
Of course.
If they can compete, but why is it that nobody can suggest that?
Well, you know what? Again, they're not going to do it because we know the men would win. And, oh, my God, that wouldn't be fair, would it? Jesus. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Tom on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom. Long time, first time.
Thank you.
You know what? It starts even in the lower levels, high school. I'm a high school teacher, football coach, been doing that for 12 years.
Right.
Title IX's choking us out as a male-dominated school because, they give money to girls' sports, and we have 5 Division I players on our softball team this year. They'll have 10 people at the game.
Uh-huh.
We have 1 Division I football player at our games, and whether it's a CIF game or it's just a regular game, there might be 4,000 people there.
Well, you know what I say? Here's what I say. They're going to have Title IX, and they're going to force colleges, if they have a man's football team, to have a women's football team and crap like that. I say let's not have any sports at college. Instead, let's put these kids into privately funded leagues, and may the best league win. And the leagues will be funded by how many people pay to get in to see the games.
Right. If we're not forced by the government, then there'll be no women's sports. People don't go see it. You can go just go look on any Sunday at a soccer game, a male soccer game versus a female soccer game, with just the crowds.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to watch a freshman team versus a varsity team.
Right.
You go look at a freshman basketball team, there's 15 people, whether it's a man or a woman's sport. But if you go watch a varsity game, there might be 2,000 people there. And watching women's basketball or whatever sports on TV is like watching a freshman team at the best. And there are some great athletes, yes, but nobody's going to watch it. But the problem right now is that they're taking money away from lower levels, like I'm saying, in high school, and putting it towards the females. Mm-hmm. And I'm scratching to put a weight room together for the football program. And we might draw. If we have 6 home games at 4,000 people, that's 24,000 people paying to get into the games. But we have to give some of that money over to other sports that draw 10, 15, 20 people.
It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, and it's frustrating, but that's just the way it is, and I'm lucky. I got 2 sons, so I don't have to deal with that. I don't have to go.
Well, that's what I want. I want to see more LeBron Jameses. I want to see guys go from high school right to the pros. Screw the college sports. Who cares?
Right. Well, that'll never happen in the NFL, though, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yeah. Well,
you're going to have some kind of an interim league or something like that.
You know what? I'm ready. I think we're all ready. Tom, thanks a lot for the call.
The Tom Leykis Show. This is the Tom Leykis Show.
From Los Angeles, 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Jason on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom. How's it going, man?
Pretty good, Jason.
Well, that's good. And yes, I do care.
Thank you.
Thank you. No, what are you talking about? The woman that called in said we have sports to get away from women. She's right, but even women have tainted sports for us. You look at any sport out there, it's based on women. Look at any sport nearly, it's trying to get something in the hole.
That's right.
You look at golf, you're trying to get the ball in the hole.
That's right.
You look at basketball, 5 guys fighting 5 other guys over 2 holes, just like any nightclub in the country.
That's right.
Football. I mean, the goalpost right to the middle. They put hair on the post if it wasn't obscene. Women have screwed it all up for us.
That's exactly right. Women have screwed up everything for us. You know what? When I was a little kid, you know, and you call it from Dallas, and Dallas has some of the best barbecue joints and steakhouses in the world. But when I was a kid, a steakhouse was dark, with dark lighting, dark wood on the walls. They served brown drinks. The guys who stood at the bar smoking big cigars and talking crap about their women, that old battle axe at home. And then you would go sit down at your table to a big artery-clogging, colon-clogging piece of spectacular meat. And you would sit there and booze and smoke cigars and eat. Now you go to a steakhouse. It's in the mall, conveniently located next to Hot Topic and the Gap. And
hell yes.
And you get in there, and it's like peach-colored walls and pink lighting, right? And then you get in there, and they serve fruit and fish and chicken, and then they've got, like, you know, creme brulee and all these fruit desserts. And then the worst part, the chick goes to the bathroom while the poor pussified male whose balls are missing, he's standing there with a big aluminum foil swan with his leftovers in it. You just get a doggy bag. You know, you can bring home a bag of bones. Now your wife orders 6 pounds of food and eats 5 pounds, 10 ounces, or at least 5 pounds, 10 ounces on the plate, and they put it in this big swan or this big pelican made out of tin foil. And you stand there like a pussy outside the bathroom waiting for it to come out. And you see all these poor guys standing there with these little balloon animals made out of tin foil. Steakhouse has become the most pussified, feminized, vaginized places I can imagine.
The only lighting you should have in a steakhouse is maybe an oil lamp burning and like some neon signs, a Budweiser sign on the wall.
Absolutely. And that's blinking and kind of going.
And the only dessert should be like cobbler, peach cobbler, something guys can make.
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? I mean, and besides, guys don't eat dessert. You know what? We'll just have some more booze.
Damn straight.
Booze.
I just drink.
Yeah, and none of this, come on, none of this, no Long Island iced teas, none of these Cosmos or lemon drops. Are you kidding me? Booze.
Hell no.
Let's go with the booze. That's another example of something women have taken over and ruined.
Yeah, you got to have whiskey in it. You know, whiskey and water, that's a man's drink.
That's right. You know what? And not even the Knob Creek. You know what I'm saying? I want the more hardcore stuff. The rut gut that's on, you know, and the guy behind the bar is named Rusty, and he's been there 42 years, and he knows your drink.
Because you're in there every day to get away from your goddamn wife.
Right, and your goddamn secretary.
Exactly.
All of them. And back when you called them secretaries and not administrative assistants.
Nah, it's Secretary's Day, by God.
That's right, exactly.
I get in trouble for that all the time. I don't give a damn. It's Secretary's Day. It'll always be Secretary's Day.
If I had a secretary, I'd give her something for Secretary's Day, but I'd give it to her in a hotel room with the door locked.
Yeah, that can get you in trouble, though.
Those were the days, Jason.
I know it.
Those were the days.
They're gone. We'll never get them back.
This idea, and by the way, you go to sporting events. That's the other thing. You know, when I was a kid, I must tell you something. When I went with my dad to my first hockey game, these guys beat the living crap out of each other. There were teeth and blood being shoveled up. I'm not kidding. I mean, you got to look at some old films of hockey games from back when I was a kid in the 60s, because I'm telling you something, those were men. And they had no teeth in their mouth, and there was blood all over the ice, and you had goalies who didn't wear masks, and then between periods you go outside, and it's 99.9% men smoking cigars, waiting for the next period to start. Now you go to the game, and they've got camera shots of people saying, "Kiss me," and they're serving sushi at the game. What? And then the two guys raise their fist to each other, and they don't even touch each other. They get 5 minutes for fighting. What is happening?
It starts at a young age. It starts in school. In football, in high school, if there's a drop of blood on your uniform, you're out of the game till it's cleaned up.
Stinks. I mean, it just
kids bleed.
It just stinks. And then on top of that, after women ruin sports and ruin the steakhouses and ruin bars, You go into a bar and they're playing YMCA instead of you go into a bar and they've got like sports on. There's a boxing match and your buddies are there and you're having a good time and you're cursing up a storm. Now you go in and they're serving hors d'oeuvres and crudités. Stop it already. Okay, they're just ruining everything. And then women start complaining that there's no real men anymore, like there's no good men. Because women have ruined it. That's why there's no good men.
No, we're all scared to be ourselves.
That's right. And everything is so goddamn politically correct. You know what? I have no problem calling these broads what they are.
Damn straight.
They are sperm depositories. That's what they are. Make my dinner, shut your mouth.
Damn straight.
Right?
Right?
Those were the days, Jason. We need to go back to those days.
See, I'm too young to remember many of those days, though.
Jason, that's why I'm here. I'm the dad you never had. I'm here to tell you.
I mean, you know...
We're going back to the future, baby.
By the time I got old enough to worry about women, it was ruined for me.
Now, let me ask you, are your parents still together or did they get divorced?
No, they actually are together.
They are together. That's a good sign.
32 years.
32 years. And is your dad the boss in the house?
Of course.
Well, there you go. And that's why you're such a level-headed guy.
See, and my mom's not one of these pansy-ass women either.
Uh-huh.
See, my mom remodels the house. She sheetrocks and drywalls.
That's good.
But she still has dinner cooked.
That's right. It saves your dad a few bucks. He doesn't have to come in and hire outside labor.
Exactly. My dad's at work all day doing his thing, earning a living.
And your mom's putting up the sheetrock. Very good.
She'll put up sheetrock and have dinner on the table when he gets home.
I like that.
And she's happy, and he's happy, and they've been married 32 years.
Jason, how will you ever find a woman like that?
I have no idea.
Yeah, you won't. I tell you what, you won't find one when you're carrying a tinfoil swan outside the steakhouse.
Hell no.
At the mall.
Eating pate.
Oh, please. And then you get dragged over to like Starbucks to have a Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity Frappuccino or whatever they have over there.
I can honestly say I've never, ever been in a Starbucks.
Oh, well, you know what though? You talk about these metrosexuals and these queer eyes and all this. You know, these guys go into Starbucks. Yeah, I'd like a grande, venti, frappuccino, chai, double non-fat. You feel like a goddamn homo doing that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know,
I wouldn't even know how to pronounce most of the crap on their menu.
You know, and when you go in, you know, if you actually go in, you say, "I'd like a small." You mean you want a tall? What do you mean tall?
Yeah, I want a tall blonde to cook my dinner when I get home from work.
Exactly. And make some coffee while we're at it in a percolator, preferably.
Yeah. Give me some Folgers, black, maybe a little sugar. That's all.
And then give you a little cream with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I need. And this fancy crap.
That's right.
Damn straight. But bad chance of ever finding a woman like that.
Well, Jason, we're going to form our own society, and we're going to, believe me, if you build it, they will come. There are chicks out there who are so desperate for a good man. Once we form a society of guys who aren't going to take this crap anymore, chicks will flock to us.
We need to have an island somewhere and have psychological evaluations before we ever let any bitch on the island.
That's right. Forget about this survivor crap. Come on. Let's get to the good stuff.
Damn straight.
Let's have our own Temptation Island, baby.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Tom Leykis Show. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Eric on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Tom, there's nothing wrong with women's basketball. I think the only reason why you don't like women's basketball is because any lady in that team will probably kick your fat ass.
Oh, really? Well, you haven't seen my ass lately. It's hardly fat.
Well, you know what? Why don't you do this? Why don't you go to the women's league and pick out any lady there? You pick her.
I don't pretend to be a basketball player.
You know
what?
The
point is, I am a paying customer. And when I pay good money to see a game, I want to see the best players play. Period. Regardless of gender. And you know what? None of the women playing are the best players. That's it. End of story.
Well, why don't you, like I said, why don't you...
It has nothing to do with whether I can do it. I'm not charging anyone to watch me play basketball, and I'm not pretending to be a basketball player.
Well, you're dissing women's basketball.
I am, because as a consumer, I think it's an inferior product, and that's why nobody wants to see it.
That's your opinion.
But it's not just my opinion. It's the opinion of all the empty seats at the games.
Look, go get a lady.
Why are there so many empty seats at those games? If you're so right, why are there so many empty seats?
Well, probably because there's so many people talking out of their ass like you are.
Oh, I see. So you, where are your season tickets for the Sparks located?
I don't have season tickets.
Why not?
But I watch.
Why don't you?
Because I live in Temecula, and
so what?
But I get out there.
How often?
I get out there probably about 10 times a year.
Really? Name 3 players on the Sparks.
Leslie, Smith, and Adams.
Smith and Adams? Who would even know?
Yes.
Jones? How about Jones? Is Jones still playing?
What was that?
Jones? Is Jones still playing?
No.
No? What happened to Jones? Jones got traded?
Yes, he did.
Really? How about Smythe?
Look, go over there.
Making this up. You don't go to the games. You're so full of crap.
Go pick one of the women players and make it.
Hey, Eric, I'm not going one-on-one with any female basketball players. I'm not a basketball player.
Make it pay-per-view.
Because I'm not a basketball player, period. End of story.
I will pay $100 to see you have a heart attack.
I'll bet you will. Hang in there, pal. Not happening anytime soon. One of those brilliant crank callers of all time. There you go. Unbelievable. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. What's the deal on no Smith and no Adams? No Adams. There you go. We just went to the L.A. Sparks website, and nobody by that name on the team. You moron. Mike on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
Hey, Tom. Welcome back to Dallas, man.
Thank you, Mike.
Hey, I was just going to tell you, you are right on about women in professional sports.
Uh-huh.
There was a minor league hockey team that used to come down here and play in Fort Worth. Nobody would go to the games when they played against anybody else, except when they played against this one team because they had a female goalie.
Yeah, was that Manon Rayom?
Yes.
Yes.
And only reason nobody cared about how good she was, how many shots she stopped, anything. All they cared about was how she looked.
That's
and
right.
My friends, we'd get seats right behind the bench just in case they pulled the goalie so that they could stare at her.
Right. Now, if she looked like Ellen DeGeneres, do you think it would have sold out?
Oh, hell no. Nobody would go see that.
That's right.
Why would you pay good money to go see, Ellen DeGeneres when you could go see Naomi Campbell instead?
That's right. And Naomi Campbell doesn't have to play basketball. She can just stand there.
You can just stand there and charge guys $50 a piece to stare at her.
Absolutely. And speaking of Texas, what about that Tyra Banks, huh?
Oh, $100 right there.
Oh, my God, she's hot.
All right.
I'll tell you what, I'd pay the same money you pay to go to a WNBA game. I'd just sit and watch Tyra Banks just stand there.
Oh, no question about it.
Not only that, she's probably as good as at least half the players in the WNBA.
Better.
She's certainly taller than half of them.
Oh, of course.
Well, Mike, thank you very much for the call.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-866.
I'm so sick of these girly boys out there. Stop it. Be a goddamn man.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Jerry on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
Tom, how you doing, man? This is Jerry.
I'm doing okay, Jerry.
Just want to tell you, if they ever have anything like one wish, I'd wish make Tom Leykis holiday. I mean, it has to be a national holiday.
We have one coming up this November. It's called Erection Day, as they call it in Japan, Erection Day, and that's my day.
Well, it fits you. It fits you. I mean, started listening to you about 4 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Everything that you've said in your show is either happened to me or will happen to me.
No doubt about it.
I'm 28. Obviously, I'm not going to say it was a mistake, but something wrong, of course. A young man having a child. Provided for my child as much as I could, but the marriage, I kind of, stood away from it. Now I'm just, dating, open freely, listening to your show, taking all the advice I could.
Hopefully with a condom, Jerry.
That I believe in now.
Good. Well, I'm glad you do. Thank you. Joe on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
Father Leykis, forgive me for I have sinned.
Oh, Joe, what did you do?
I have strayed from your wisdom.
Oh, boy.
you can see me, and welcome back to Dallas, by the way.
Thank you.
You can catch me up until about a month ago at Three Forks with my little aluminum swan.
Oh, boy.
And nothing between my legs anymore.
Uh-huh.
And thinking that because, I've showered this woman with money and food and gifts and trips and golf, that I'm going to get laid, and I get nothing. I mean, this broad is just taking me for a ride because I didn't listen.
This is what I tell you, boys. Isn't that true?
You'll wind up watching HGTV
That's right.
while they fall asleep.
Uh-huh.
I'm back now, full-fledged, Tom. It's good to have you back in Dallas. I can get back on the track.
Joe, thank you. Appreciate the call. Our email address is my name. It's tom@blowmeuptom.com. You got that, Tom at blowmeuptom.com, or call our comment line. The number is area code 310-842-9592.
The Tom Leykis Show.